My name is Joe Manny. I'm manager here at Gigginstown Angus. We're calving down about 180 pedigree cows at this stage. We started off with about 30 cows back in '97, and over the years, as land was added to the farm, we've increased the pedigree herd. They are run as part of the bloodstock enterprise. They graze behind the bloodstock. They stand on their own right in terms of pedigree sales. We probably sell 80 to 85% pedigree stock. The rest then we get sold to the factory if they're not up to standard. The sales are continuing this year as like other years, but we are selling privately. The bulls are selling privately due to COVID restrictions. We're selling on farm. Demand is strong. It's a lot stronger this year because of strong calf prices, and the factory price seems to be improving, so farmers are trading in their bulls and buying younger ones. The heifers we're going to sell online because there's such demand for them. Heifer can be sold at any stage, and we're finding that the online system will suit the heifer sale. The herd was sourced in Canada originally. The bloodlines were sourced from the top herds in Canada around 1997, and then they were supplemented with some of the top bloodlines from Ireland, from the Aberdeen Angus and the Irish Angus. So at this stage, it's a mix of bloodlines between the Irish and the Canadian. We source our bulls at the sales. If we see a good bull at a show, we'll probably follow it up and try and buy directly off the breeder. The females, similarly, we'll always try and pick up a nice female at these different shows, and we supplement our own bloodlines using that. The herd is autumn-spring calving, split roughly 50-50 now due to the size of the herd calving and facilities we have. So the autumn-born calves usually get sold in the spring at 16 to 20 months. They fit in nicely with our annual spring sale. The spring-born calves we let grow on, we treat them as store cattle, and they get sold at 20-24 months between January and March. The heifers then can be sold at any time. The lower end of the heifers get exported. There's a good export trade. And the top end of the females, we retain some for our own breeding, and we put the others in our annual spring sale. We try to breed the heifers at 15 to 20 months, 15 months if we can. If it's in better with ICBF, probably calve easier. It gives them more stars, but sometimes when you're selling pedigree cattle, you'd like to have a better grown heifer, but we are trying to calve them down at 24 months. For that reason, all our September, October born heifers, we pick out the pick of them, we split them 50-50, we keep half them for ourselves and we put the other half in the sale. The spring born heifers, we'll put them in calf in the autumn, have them spring calving and maybe at 2.5 years. And the rest then will get sold in between, but the bottom end gets exported. When we pick our replacement heifers, we look at the cow, and if she has good function, if she has bred well before for us, we'll watch out for that. The heifer, you'll always look for a nice head. It's the first thing that will catch your eye. Unfortunately, it won't do anything in the factory for you, but she'll have to have a good Angus head. She'll have to have a bit of length. She'll have to have good milking ability, and you'll look at that from the cow, and she'll look to be well grown, and you'll look for 4 good legs under her as well, and you'll look for a good temperament. So with all those factors in mind, that's what you keep in mind when you're looking for your replacement heifer. We tend to let our calves with the cows for up to 10 months at a time. With our autumn-born calves, we find that if we dry the calves too early, we run into problems of mastitis with the cows. So we'll dry the cows off around mid-June, and usually after 2 or 3 weeks, we let the cows back out to the stubbles, and the calf then will go on to aftergrass, and it's only then he'll get his creep fed. They won't get creep fed before weaning, but they're usually coming off the cow at 400-450 kg weight at that stage. We'll try to keep them growing at about 2 kg, give them 2 kg a day until Christmas. At that stage then we'll try and put them out on rape and keep them out for a couple of months to grow the hair in them. We'll keep the feeding light until they come in. At that stage we're happy enough that they have a good platform to feed them. They have a good body size, they have a good growth rate, and we'll push on the feeding then until we think they're an acceptable size to sell. The spring-born bulls we find are too young to make saleable bulls out of them in 12 months' time, so we let them grow on as store cattle. They will join the commercial head in the autumn. We brought in and introduced the feed, and we'll introduce the feed slowly until we have them up around 700 to 800 kg. We find that they're fully grown at that stage, can carry the weight. They're easily sold to dairymen. They're a good size and they can see what they're buying. Overall, we wouldn't be heavy on creep feeding. We'd rather let the animal grow first and then introduce the feed later. Here behind me are the bulls we have in the current sale for our spring catalogue sale. These bulls will be mainly born September, October, November. Would have been out in rape till February, and now they're inside. They're on whole crop ration. The whole crop is wheat that we have grown at home, and we harvested like silage. It only takes 3 to 4 kg a ration to complement it, to get them to put on up to 2 kg a day. We would weigh the cattle very often. We'd weigh them at least once a month, and if we're not happy at the weight gains, we may change the feed or adjust the diet. But overall, the bulls are well grown before they are introduced to heavy feeding, but we find that the whole crop keeps the stomach right, thrive quite well in it. It's all homegrown food. The other advantage with the whole crop is that we give it to the out-calving cows when they come in. It boosts their diet, it boosts the milk, and they don't need much of it. 5 kg a head per day is enough to add to the diet. They replace any weight loss after calving, and they cycle very well after it. At the moment, we're just at the turnout. The weather was milder and kinder probably 3 weeks ago. We find unless we have enough grass when they do go out, we need the grass build up ahead of them. We'd have 90% of the cows calve by the time turn out, so you have to make sure there's enough grass when they do go out that they stay out. For that reason, we're probably not getting out in mid-April. We run a kind of a rotational system. They're probably a 3-week grazing rotation, and they're run to complement the bloodstock we have here to keep the grass right for them, but we have to make sure there's adequate grass to keep the calf and the cow growing. We've had an annual sale for the last 20 years on the farm here in Gigginstown. We found it very successful, found it very easy to sell. Unfortunately, last year due to COVID, we had to sell privately, but the sales went very well. We were very happy with it. This year, similarly, we are selling the bulls here behind us by private appointment, and they're selling very well. The trade is very strong this year. But the heifer has met unprecedented demand, and for that reason, we're going to do an online auction next Saturday, and it's online only. People have to register through Barry James Duff, Mark, in order to be able to bid. We're always happy to see our customers coming back each year. It's usually a sign the bulls have gone well, and at this stage it's a testament to the genetics down through the years that they've been successful, and hopefully that will continue.